also is the inaugural silent set match here for Wisconsin. It was started by former Penn State All-American Johnny Parker, aiming to bring attention to the inaccessibility of hearing aids, not often covered by insurance. So the crowd silent until point number 9. That was Parker's number, and then they can break out. And a Smrek down the line, but will misfire, and Minnesota will start out with a 1-point lead.
Errors shot Wisconsin in the foot the last time these two teams met up about 2 months ago. Wisconsin has to play a lot cleaner this time.
Alex Acevedo has been money at the service line. Starting things out here for the Gophers. Hansen over that block and flying in is Furbringer. Smrek also has been the hot hand for the Badgers offense as of late. Schaffmaster looking for Groach. Gets the touch, and Minnesota leading 2-0.
Minnesota has to be a little bit more aggressive like that, like the last swing that we saw in that rally. Julia Hansen threw in 2 tips during that one. Tips are not going to win this matchup against Wisconsin. You have to swing aggressive, just like Groach did on the last swing.
One thing that Kelly Sheffield said about this Minnesota team is they are not afraid of the block. They will go right to it aggressively, as Wisconsin will answer back with their first point.
Both Minnesota and Wisconsin are fantastic blocking teams, so expect both sides to continue to swing high and try to tool it very often, meaning it's hitting the block and then going out of bounds.
You saw the fans there cheering through signing during this silent set to start set number 1 here at the Fieldhouse. Minnesota now leading by 2.
This was a focus for Wisconsin coming into this one. Even though it's silent in the gym, they're focused on creating their own energy from the bench and on the court, making sure that nothing changes on their end.
Every bench captain excited to be involved in this one.
Oh, my eyes just lit up.
Right into the block. Yulia Orgel as crafty as always. Keegan Cook leading the Minnesota Golden Gophers in his 2nd season. Says he's not focused on hosting and trying to calculate that out, just playing their best volleyball right now down the stretch, and things will fall how they may.
Yeah, you're trying to just win every single matchup and take new day, one day at a time. For this Minnesota team, they can't look too far down the line. They have to focus on the match in front of them as they put that one down.
Julia Hansen gets the touch, and Minnesota looking aggressive here to start with some big rips.
Julia Hansen has really stepped up for this Minnesota program. She's had back-to-back 20-kill nights and 9th in the conference right now during Big Ten play with 4 kills a set. Her numbers have been outstanding.
The definition of a breakout season for the Minnesota native. Tries to push it over, but it's kept up by the Badgers. Schaffmaster looking cross-court to Hansen, and a lot of fire on that swing. A great start by Minnesota.
Much more aggressive swing there from Hansen. That's what they have to do all night.
Kelly Sheffield in his 12th season here in Madison. Worth pointing out, just a couple matches ago, the all-time winningest head coach in program history, surpassing Pete Waite. He is up at the top and well-deserved with the success he is created here, as Minnesota strikes again from the service line, where it is daunting to face them.
Minnesota is one of the toughest serving teams in the conference. They might not be up there in terms of aces per set, but their percentage that they're knocking teams out of system is the best in the conference, hands down. They've got a lot of gnarly servers back there.
Yeah, aces per set is the flashy number, but what about situations like that? Hansen just slamming it down for a point.
Just a phenomenal serve in the backcourt by Grote. What makes her serve so effective is there is no spin on it. That means it's catching the air pockets, forcing passers to move at the last second.
Hers is hard to predict, too.
Sometimes it has a little bit of spin on it, sometimes there's no spin. It's kind of a hybrid, and you never know what you're going to get.
That time perfectly executed by the Badgers' Smrek on the finishing end.
And Smrek is going to have to be a big part of this Wisconsin offense tonight if they want to have success. Much better pass on Wisconsin's side. Sarah Franklin handling that beautifully. That leaves Smrek one-on-one on the right.
Harling Anderson, the backup setter, coming in to serve for the Badgers. He seems also expecting this to be a match of runs. Minnesota can really drag you through the mud, while Wisconsin, one of the best offenses in the country, one of the most experienced in the Big Ten. Master looking for Hansen, and just a misconnection giving the point to Wisconsin.
The connection just a little bit off, and sometimes that'll happen when you're running a fast tempo outside set. You have to be right on the money to hit that attacker. Schaffmaster hitting it just a little too high.
Because this is the silent set, an opportunity to hear what actually goes on the court. That one just out of the reach of Franklin, but we were talking, Emily, about how you get to really hear the communication that happens on the court in this situation.
It's constant, normally throughout entire plays, but you don't normally hear it even if you're at matches because there's so much crowd noise happening throughout matches, but let's listen in and see how much you hear.
Another point for the Badgers, bringing them within 2 against Minnesota.
And something to listen for, too, is normally when an attacker is going up, their backcourt is constantly telling them what shots to hit. So the backcourt normally has the best eyes of, hey, you should hit this ball to the cross court. You can go down the line. And as an attacker, you listen to your backcourt and hit what they say a lot of the time if you can't see the block yourself.
McKenna Wooker coming into the game, doesn't get the touch there. She'll be rotating throughout the front row, missed their last match, or match before last against Nebraska, came back with 10 kills. Minnesota seemed pretty confident right after that came off her hands.
Oh, yeah.
Elise McGee subbing in to serve. Goes right into the net there. A blast from Julia Hansen from the back row. We got to see a longer rally there.
And you can really see the play unfold and how much movement there is in the backcourt, how much they're talking to each other. Listen to this. Now, all of that noise is coming from the players on the court. No fans there at all.
Right into the net once more. A surface air by Minnesota. They still lead by 2, 10-8. And the crowd awaiting that next point, signaling the end of this silent set, raising awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing communities and the financial barriers to acquiring hearing aids. Dug in the back row by Orgel. McKenna Wooker tooling it off the block with a big rip.
Minnesota's offense has stayed balanced all night long. Schaffmaster is getting every hitter involved and doing a great job going for those high hands. The hitters are really targeting those blockers, not afraid of the big block in front of them.
Middle Smrek is going to put that down every time.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Now up by 4. Shaky out of the gate, but in control. Devin Robinson with a big swing, puts it down for the kill.
Wisconsin utilizing this 3-middle system, so when Devin Robinson goes over to the right side, a much better slide attacker than what we see from CC Crawford.
1 swing, 1 kill.
Batting 1,000.
That's
there you go.
The kind of treasure trove that Wisconsin has with their offensive attack. CC Crawford putting it into play. Wooker puts away this soft shot.
Really well-disguised tip from McKenna Wooker. It looked like she was going to take a swing on this up until the last second. Then she pulls that elbow down to throw it right over the block in front of her. Watch her bring this elbow right down at the end and just go right over the block.
Wooker was in the midst of recovering from injury. She had missed the prior couple matches, and then 3 after playing against Wisconsin, just appeared, had a couple of digs, and she can be a game changer. Grote unleashes the fire on that swing.
Lydia Grote was fantastic the last time these two teams met, led Minnesota with 17 kills. She's going to be a go-to tonight for this team that needs someone to rely on that isn't an outside attacker, and she's been great so far.
At too strong from Schaffmaster. And a point for Wisconsin, inching closer to set point, leading 21-17.
Minnesota with their 4th service error of the night so far. That is way too many through not even the first set. Minnesota has to clean it up.
And for a team that depends so much on their service pressure.
And you need to have tough service pressure, but it's a delicate balance of also just getting the ball in and allowing your defense the opportunity to shine.
Groats off the hands of Damrow, and the kill going to the Gophers.
And a good up by Damrow in the backcourt. Orschel right there to play it, just not enough length to get that up. Really well hit for Minnesota, going right off the block, skying that ball. She's like, I should have had that. Right there.
Robringer tracks it down, finds Franklin, and that's tapped back. Franklin readjusts, takes some heat off. Hansen.
Based on this look, that ball looks out.
After review, the ball is out. The call will be reversed. The point will go to Wisconsin, and they will retain their challenge.
Master looking for growth, pushing it over. Growth once more into the block and plays it. Hansen, what a swing. She is fiery and comes up in a big moment.
You gotta have a lot of guts if you're going and taking a big swing against Anna Smrek and Carter Booth. 6'9" and 6'7". Julie Hansen's not afraid of anything. She's gonna continue to bring the hammer. Look how big this block is right in front of her, but she is not afraid of it.
Up the middle, Carter Booth puts it away for the Badgers.
That's just Wisconsin's 3rd total set to their middles this entire time. The Pins have done such a great job, though, even in perfect pass situations. Furbringer is setting a beautiful game, knowing that those Pins are going to be one-on-one.
Orschel and Franklin airless on 16 combined swings, leading the way offensively. Smrek right behind them.
What Wisconsin is doing is using their Pins to actually open up their middles, which normally we see the other way around.
Lydia Groats gets a piece there. Minnesota scrappy, trying to make this a late first set comeback.
Early in the first set, Lydia Groat had a service run back on the end line. It is a tough float serve with no spin on it. Wisconsin service team has to talk about their seams early.
That time, another service error for Minnesota. That's been their Achilles heel, and that is 5 in set 1 alone.
Way too many errors, just essentially handing Wisconsin this set. You look at the point differential, 4 points right now. That's a difference.
Wisconsin with set points on their home floor. Julia Hansen, Damrow there to keep it off the floor. That's gonna land out. Minnesota stays alive in set 1.
Those are the plays that Wisconsin has to capitalize on. If you want to be a top team in the country, you cannot give any breath to the team on the other side of the net, especially in easy situations, sending a free ball out of bounds.
Hansen will try to keep the Gophers alive in set 1. Orschel gets the contact, and therefore set number 1 goes to the Badgers in this border battle rivalry, 25-21.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Well, she's surrounded by great blockers. The Great Wall of Madison. Let's see where they rank in conference play. 3 players in the top 5 in blocks per set.
3 over 1.3. That is an insane number.
And in this conference?
Yeah. Minnesota's applying all the pressure right now.
Badgers out of system with yet another serve from the Gophers. Furbringer looking to Orschel, tries to push it into the block, but Minnesota says no.
Minnesota's block coming alive at it, but let's take another look at that Furbringer set. Again, if she's above the plane of the net, that can get called. Honestly, that's a good call. That looks above to me based on this angle. Again, that's subjective, though. You can't challenge it.
On the slide, it's Crawford, but kept up by Thibault. One more time on the slide, and again kept up by Thibault. Free ball from Minnesota. Wooker will misfire. Coming off a 10-kill match in their fourth-set win against Michigan. That time takes some heat off to perfection. Gulje Guchtikin, they are day-to-day with injury, missing their second straight match apiece. Furbringer takes a look, goes to Franklin. Good things happen. Got 10 attack errors in this set alone, tying a season high that they had against TCU. Not a common occurrence. Wooker will rise and fire. It sounds different coming off her hand.
Yeah.
Furbringer making tremendous strides since the first time these two teams met as a freshman setter. Wooker again will terminate with force.
McKenna Wooker's got a hot hand right now. She is bringing all the heat. Doesn't matter if she's on the left or the right. Schaffmaster knows that she's heating up and is gonna feed her every single time. Beautiful ball right inside, a really big block in front of her.
Since she's playing the front row, a big smile as she came off the court with her head coach Keegan Cook too. That tapped back off the swing from Franklin. She'll get another look, and again it's rejected. Minnesota's block making itself known in set 2.
Phoebe Gawalea doing a really good job dropping that left hand inside the seam. Franklin's an attacker that is constantly ripping that cross-court shot to the middles. Have to be great with that left hand inside.
Set point for the Gophers in set 2. Just who they want at the service line, Alex Acevedo. Franklin with a lot of fire will hammer that down.
Better adjustment from Franklin. Gets blocked in the cross-court, switches it up, and goes right down the line for the kill.
Minnesota a commanding lead. Hansen ends set 2.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Top 4 seed, meaning you can host their regionals, so through the first 4 rounds all the way up to the national semifinals.
Kind of Wooker has that turned back. Wooker again over the block. Right there is Anderson. Tevin Robinson fiercely puts it down. 111 in this set. We're not used to seeing that. I needed a moment to process because we're used to them being so prolific and so efficient. Now in the red zone in set 3. Kind of Wooker, seen a lot of balls set her way. Franklin will convert with the hammer. The freshman setter Furbringer gets it into play. Lydia Grote. Damrow keeps it up. Grote again, a big rip, tooling it off the block. Bounce in your step.
Yeah.
You'll see her skipping around, excited, joyful out there playing.
Right, she's got balloons in her shoes.
Off the bump set, it's Hansen, but she is denied.
Perfectly read up front from Carter Booth. This ball left inside. Smrek made the perfect adjustment to bring it in, and then Booth just finished it off. Watch her hand placement and see how far she gets over the net. I mean, it's a wall to hit around.
Followed by an ace by Franklin. Minnesota back to a 1-point lead. The pancake by Franklin will play on. Cross court. Hansen, another pancake, this time Furbringer on the Wisconsin side. Dug by Franklin, a big swing from Grote. Hansen tools it off the block, no fear. Orzel getting the sets, and that will fall. Miscommunication by Minnesota, and we are within one.
Miscommunications cannot happen on your side this late in a set against your rival, against a top 6 team. You have to communicate about those plays.
Minnesota still leading by 1, but Wisconsin making a charge with Sage Damrow at the service line. She goes into the net, and that's critical. Minnesota now a set point.
And those are areas that you just cannot make this late in a set when you're trying to claw your way back. Focus on the pass, though. You have to flush that right away for Damrow.
And we got Orzel with the swing. Hansen off the block, and Minnesota will take a 2-1 lead and silence this crowd at the Fieldhouse.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Good response from Wisconsin, nailing that pass right away. That allows the middle attack to get involved, and Furbringer has made it a point to get Booth more involved in this offense here in the 4th.
3 in double-figure kills for Wisconsin. Rather make that 2. Just Franklin and Orzel. Too long there for Furbringer. And Minnesota needing that to crawl back into things here in set 4.
Wisconsin isn't incredibly high error on the serve, but they're missing at inopportune times. It's right when they get momentum and they're going back there and missing.
Furbringer going to Franklin, chased down by Acevedo, playing exclusively in the back row. Franklin off the bump set. Hansen aggressively into the block. That one went to 5. Wisconsin hoping part 2 does as well. Up the middle, and a Smrek like clockwork for the Badgers. That one fell off a table by Franklin. From passing to attacking for Hansen. Orzel tries to place it over. Furbringer up the middle. Booth, that's kept up by Acevedo. Hansen unloads Damrow right there, and here comes Franklin with a blast from the back row.
Continue to keep her going and keep the pressure on Minnesota. And Damrow doing such a good job in the backcourt keeping these alive.
On the slide, Minity. Smrek takes it off the bump set. Hansen gets no touch there, and Wisconsin rolling now.
This is a must-win set for the Badgers, and they are taking control when it matters most. The key from here on out is to just keep the pressure and don't change anything.
4-0 run for the Badgers. Franklin continues at the service line. Orzel put all her force into that swing. There's the block by Minnesota. Minity and Hansen with the denial.
Hansen in the perfect spot to shut down Smrek, closing the seam up really well, and both blockers working really well together. Here's another look at it. Look at Hansen's hand so far over, working so well with her middle.
Minnesota's had a response to each Wisconsin run, but now the Badgers maintaining control with Smrek putting it down at the middle.
This is what the best teams do. They keep the pressure on you even when they're up. They don't get complacent. They keep the pedal to the metal. That's what it's going to take to not only win this match, but later on in the year to get through the first weekend, get through the second weekend, and potentially reach the national championship.
Minity working off the slide. Orgel had that sent back from the block. Going all out is Franklin, looking like she's wearing the jersey. Looker tried to take Damro's head off, but Wisconsin a well-earned point here late in set 4.
Sarah Franklin do whatever she can just to keep this ball up. Check out this hustle. I mean, she is pumping those arms, not only gets it up, sends it over the net.
Her all-around game is nearly unmatched.
She is so good. It's not just her attack that we focus so much on. She has made such massive strides defensively, keeping the ball off the court.
Damro too strong again. Minnesota looking for a spark here to avoid a set 5.
It's those high momentum plays. Anytime Wisconsin gets a high momentum play, a lot of cheering happening, they go back and they miss a serve.
Teams racking up service errors, 21 combined. Here is McGee. Smrek to Orgel, and that will not connect. A point to Minnesota.
And that starts off a really good serve from Elise McGee, knocking Wisconsin out of system, forcing Orgel to hit a ball that's very tough.
McGee, the backup setter behind Schaffmaster, has seized this serving specialist role. Smrek poking it over. Acevedo, her first swing of the night, and that will go for a kill. But you also have to sometimes step up and make a play, sometimes cold. She's back to work. Orgel flipping it over. Orgel again, and picked up by Thibault. Acevedo, another swing. Schaffmaster will swing it over herself. Thibault, another dig. In the back row, Franklin. But the point going to Minnesota, it's another illegal back row attack called on Wisconsin.
And that's twice tonight. Sarah Franklin stepping over the line. If any part of her foot touches the 10-foot line, it's an illegal back row attack. Either she needs to stay back, or Furbringer has to keep this ball a little bit more toward the line. I mean, that is as close as it gets. Good ID from the ref again.
Elise McGee keying this 4-0 run for the Gophers. But that time, it will land for the Badgers.
That's a side out at a critical time for Wisconsin, especially to nail that pass in this massive moment. Kudos to the service for the Badgers.
CeCe Crawford, that her first kill on 5 swings. Anderson into the net, and Minnesota still has life here on the road.
Door cracked back open for the Gophers. Wisconsin has to play clean from here on out. They cannot hand Minnesota any more points.
And Minnesota has an excellent server at the line in Melanie Schaffmaster. On the slide, Devin Robinson with a missile.
Robinson's been a game changer here in the 4th set, providing a lot of stability defensively and offensively, trying to be the spark plug that Wisconsin needs to push a 5th set and stay in this one.
You just brace yourself when she is getting into that slide motion for what's to come.
You're like, here we go.
And there's Franklin putting it down. Set point for the Badgers. Orgel into the net, and Minnesota still alive.
Those are the plays you can't have. You can't crack the door back open. You need to put a team out when you can.
Acevedo, strongest server on this team from Minnesota. Dug by Palabiak off the swing from Robinson. Furbringer with one hand, and putting a dent in the floor is Robinson to send it to 5. service line with Elise McGee. Robinson was so key in set number 4. Can't get that to fall. She gets it off the slide, and again tries to put a dent in the floor with that swing.
Devin Robinson has been the difference for Wisconsin coming back in this match. They were down 2-1, and in the 4th, Robinson decided that she was coming to play. Defensively, offensively, doing an incredible job on both sides of the ball.
Robinson, 7 kills, hitting .417, really coming alive in the latter part of this match. Orzel goes off the tape and down.
In the 5th set especially, it is so important to have a 10-second memory and forget the last play that happened. Minnesota cannot let Wisconsin go on a bigger run because a game to 15 goes by really fast.
Orzel nearly gets it again. Off the overpass. That will land out of bounds. Minnesota with the point, and Hansen another kill.
And now Minnesota back to their best rotation with Schaffmaster serving, Grote, Awalea, and Hansen up front.
19 kills for Hansen to go along with 13 digs, her 6th double-double of the season. Can Minnesota go on a run here on the road? And it starts like that.
The biggest reason why Minnesota has almost taken control of this match has been the service pressure. It's not necessarily been the aces, but just knocking them out of system at such a high clip. They've been picking apart Wisconsin service the entire night.
Normally a part of the game, not particularly vulnerable for Wisconsin, but Minnesota making it that way. Devin Robinson has been untouchable the last couple sets for the Badgers.
Robinson has completely turned it up a notch. That swing was just nasty, cutting right outside the block. Check out the power that she's got. And that confidence and swagger, that's just something you can't teach.
I'm gonna say, it's not just the fire in her arm, it's the fire with her presence and her demeanor as Wisconsin earns another ace.
Minnesota has to bounce back really quick here in this 5th set, especially in this kind of environment in front of over 7,000 fans. They need to create their own energy and stop the runs as soon as possible.
CeCe Crawford serving. Rising and firing Grote. Franklin steps into it and crushes that ball.
And it has to be. When you want to go deep in the tournament and win these big matchups, everyone has to be involved.
Minnesota able to keep it alive, nearly another ace. And there for the second contact is Schaffmaster, then Grote down the line.
Great response from Minnesota, siding out at a time where they needed it most. You can't go down by 3 points in a 5th set because it comes so nearly impossible to catch back up. Massive swing by Grote, just catching the line.
Wow. Carter Booth with the set. Grote again, steps into it and delivers another kill. Minnesota within 1 here in set 5.
The first time these two teams met, Grote had 4 kills in the 5th set alone and was a massive reason why they ended up winning in the 5th. Expect her to get a lot of sets here.
Minnesota's responded time and time again, whether it was losing the first set and winning the next 2 or stopping runs at a frequent rate. Grote's just gonna get it over, a free ball here. Carter Booth over the net. Wooker will not get the, no, she does get the touch. And a point for Minnesota.
Wooker was pulled during that last set, giving her just a little bit of a break in the front court. This was a much better swing right away, nailing that ball in fingertips.
Wooker 12 kills, hitting .226. Carter Booth, no doubter.
The connection between Furbringer and Booth was very shaky to start for the first 3 sets. Here in set 4 and set 5, that connection looks as good as ever. Furbringer's giving her the height that Booth needs to get on top of it and smack it down. Now Wisconsin in their best front row. Smrek, Booth, and Franklin up front. Massive front line.
Verbringer at the service line, targeting Hansen. Orzel will play. Off the bump set, Grote once more, and she will tool it off the block. We're tied up at 6.
We've got a back and forth battle right away. Both sides playing all out defensively to keep these balls alive, and great out of system decision to go with Grote at a shorter blocker against Franklin rather than the left side against Smrek.
Palavic, too long, point to the Badgers.
The errors are something you can't let pile up here in the 5th set because it goes very fast if you're giving the other team points, especially when it's this close.
Franklin going to Wooker. She has to be pushed out of the way. Minnesota out of sorts in serve receive. Swept Wisconsin in Madison the first meeting, held them to 0-94. The Badgers get another crack. Orzel off the bump set and dug by Hansen. Awkward at the net. Smrek knows what to do with it. Schaffmaster catches everyone off guard. Smrek takes the swing. Wooker tooling it off the block, a smile creeping onto her face, and Minnesota within 1. Ball in the hands of Lydia Grote. Franklin, very nice pass, and Orzel does what she's supposed to do.
Just an easy play for Yulia Orzel. Not the perfect situation, but she identified the open spot on the court in front of her and put it perfectly right there.
Orzel, 51 swings, 14 kills now. Damrow getting it into play. On the slide, Minity will pick up the kill. She had a huge kill in set 5 in the first match, and she gets it again.
Wisconsin's pretty much neutralized Minnesota's middles throughout this entire match. They're hitting 0 up until that point. Minity coming up at a clutch time.
Clutch is right. Wisconsin still with a 1-point lead. Orzel before Palavic flies right in. There is Hansen meeting a brick wall of Badgers.
You don't want to see 6'9" and a Smrek in front of you if you're taking a swing in a 5th set. Smrek gets dialed in these big moments. This is when she comes up most clutch, finding ways to just shut it down. Those hands, it's a wall in front of you.
Something Coach Sheffield has said of Smrek, she doesn't flinch in big moments. Goes back to Calissa Minity. How huge are these swings for the sophomore here in set 5?
You can't teach clutch. That is a massive opportunity for Minity to come up big. That's exactly what she did in the 5th set last time these two met. It was 14-14, and she set up match point.
Off the tape for McGee. Devin Robinson with the slide, picked up by McGee as well. And Hansen will terminate with power.
Hansen is a player that's going to come up clutch for Minnesota. She becomes a hot hand. They will look to her in these big moments. Expect her to get the ball.
3 straight 20-plus kill matches for Julia Hansen. In the back row, Franklin takes some heat off, and it works.
It's not oftentimes you see Franklin go to an off speed when she's swinging in that position, but she perfectly placed it and caught Minnesota off guard.
1-point lead for Wisconsin down the home stretch. too strong for Orjol. Wisconsin trying to beat the number 16 team in the country without their top two defensive players, Lola Schumacher, Dulce Guchtikin, day-to-day with respective injuries. And we are tied up at 12. Schaffmaster, an ace. Sarah Franklin will rise, fire, and connect.
Star power comes alive when it is tight in a fifth set against your rival. So much on the line, especially for this Wisconsin team with hopes for a shot at the Big Ten title. That's when the star power comes alive, and that is Sarah Franklin, the reigning National Player of the Year. Expect her to get set a lot.
Crawford at the service line. Lydia Grote fearlessly into that block. Franklin over the top. Poked back by Carter Booth, timing it perfectly. And Wisconsin has match point. With Minnesota, that lands out, and we're tied up at 14. A tense, dramatic finish, border battle part 2 with Hansen at the service line. Carter Booth puts it down.
Great answer on Wisconsin's side, nailing the pass, getting that middle going. Wisconsin's gonna need it from everyone if they're gonna squeak this out. Now back to their best rotation, Smrek, Booth, and Franklin up front, their biggest front line.
Second match point for the Badgers. Wooker able to connect. She gets the touch and the kill.
The confidence from a player to swing against the biggest block in the country and still get the touch on it and swing with that kind of power shows you what kind of player McKenna Wooker is.
14 kills for Wooker. The Wisconsin native has upwards of 24 friends and family in the stands. Sarah Franklin has that turned back, and Minnesota's block making the difference. Now they have match point. That goes out. We are tied up again at 16.
This is a complete flashback to what we saw 2 months ago. Minnesota ended up squeaking it out 18-16. Both these teams are very comfortable with these high pressure situations.
Grote has that sent right back down. Booth is a force.
Great players make big plays in the big moments. Carter Booth is doing exactly that, taking over the front line defensively.
Match point again for the Badgers. Big dig by Wooker. And Grote will land that in the back line. 17 all.
This is a heavyweight fight right now. You saw the fight last weekend. This is better than that. We are seeing punch for punch, blow for blow.
Orjol tries to push it in. Wisconsin, match point number 4. Walker gets the contact. We will play on some more here in set 5.
Now it just becomes a battle of will. Which team is willing to do the extra step to make that defensive play, to continue to stay in the play on the swing, to get that extra execution piece on the set? Comes down to grit here in the 5th.
Smrek has that done. And again by Thibault. Hands in a big swing. Orjo will chase it down. Again, Damrow keeps it up. He was sent back by Shaftmaster, an opportunity for the Gophers, but denied by Crawford.
The defensive intensity on Wisconsin's side. Sage Damrow, the fill-in libero in the backcourt, coming up clutch when Wisconsin needed it most. 2 times during that rally, nearly taking one to the face, but gets the hand up in time. Then CeCe Crawford coming up big.
Hansen into the block, and Wisconsin will split the season series.
Charlie, one of the most epic battles that we've seen this entire season. Take me back to the 5th set. How would you describe the environment, how your team came out?
Electric. I mean, the environment itself was just amazing. The fans were so awesome, and I feel so grateful just to have the support that we have. Our team, you know, it was back and forth, runs on their side, runs on our side, but we fought through it. We wanted to battle. We knew it was going to be a battle, and we did it.